Hello, everyone. Let's get started. We're excited to talk to you today about how Lucid can help teams organize, plan, and execute cloud transformation initiatives. My name is Ryan Running. I'm a senior product marketing manager here at Lucid. I've been at Lucid for just under 4 years, focusing primarily on cloud teams and their visual collaboration needs. And today, I'm glad to be joined by Felicia Lin. Felicia.
Hi everyone, I'm Felicia Lin, the customer trainer here at Lucid. Today I'm really excited to be here, guiding you through today's session and show you how Lucid Suite helps teams successfully navigate and execute a cloud transformation project.
Before we get started, a few reminders. This session is being recorded. You can expect an email soon with the recordings of today's keynote and all 4 breakout sessions from lately at Lucid. We've got an amazing team behind the scenes to helping us answer all your questions. Please use the Q&A for asking questions and the chat for sharing your thoughts and excitement. And with that, we'll get started. Today, we'll talk about and demonstrate how teams working in the cloud can use visual collaboration to improve their cloud transformation initiatives. More and more companies operate in the cloud every day, and those already in the cloud continually increase their footprint with no slowdown in sight. Despite all the advantages of building within the cloud, operating in the cloud can be really challenging. These cloud environments are incredibly complex, and it's so difficult to understand them and even more difficult to make informed decisions about them. That's a massive gap for something so central to the health of a business. So how does visual collaboration fit into these workflows? Cloud transformation is more than just moving workloads to the cloud. It's about restructuring, optimizing, and scaling cloud environments in a way that improves efficiency or performance or even security. As I talk with Lucid customers, 3 key things continue to come up for these initiatives to succeed. First, standardization. Teams need consistent and repeatable ways to document and execute transformation projects. Without standardized processes, teams waste time recreating the same diagrams, struggle to maintain the best practices they have, and often feel like they're recreating the wheel, reestablishing processes for these initiatives. Accuracy, specifically referring to up-to-date, reliable cloud documentation. Without a clear understanding of their current architecture, teams risk making decisions based on outdated or incomplete information, leading to inefficiencies and redoing work when projects inevitably hit unforeseen obstacles. And finally, velocity. The ability to move quickly while staying aligned is key to successful cloud initiatives. Cloud transformation often involves multiple teams, engineering and architecture and operations all working in parallel. If teams aren't aligned on various parts of the project like architecture plans or dependencies, projects tend to slow down and rework increases. The Lucid Visual Collaboration Suite is designed to support each of these critical needs, helping teams reduce complexity and rework and execute transformation projects with greater clarity and speed. With reusable templates and flexible diagramming, Lucid helps teams create and follow consistent process for designing, planning, and executing on transformation initiatives. Instead of every team creating their own version of documentation, Lucid helps teams create a shared foundation that everyone works from, improving efficiency and alignment. Lucidscale, our cloud visualization solution, helps automate cloud documentation, ensuring teams are always working with up-to-date infrastructure data. Views can be customized, helping teams refine, annotate, and customize cloud models so they always reflect the current state of their architecture. Post-deployment, teams can refresh these models and compare planned versus deployed infrastructure, monitoring drift and ensuring alignment with the original design. And Lucid helps streamline collaboration, enabling teams to brainstorm solutions, map out architectures, and plan projects all in one place, instead of managing across disconnected tools. As projects evolve, teams can adjust their designs and plans, ensuring smooth execution from start to finish. With Lucid helping them standardize processes, as well as increase their accuracy and velocity, teams can confidently plan, document, and execute on their transformation initiatives. I'd love for you to hear how one of our customers is already using Lucid and the benefits they're seeing within their organization.
Hey, John Garbarino, VP of Architecture. I want to share with you some problems our organization was facing before we adopted Lucid and the Lucid suite of tools. A lot of our interactions and processes were high touch, high manual, specifically around creating solution architectures that were required for our end users to use the functionality we needed out in industry. So some of the pain we experience is as we began modeling an application or a web or a database or middleware component, there was just a lack of transparency and understanding, which resulted in a lot of delays, again, to our product and business leaders that were promising dates to our end user community industry. So we chose Lucid in the Lucid suite. It helped bring teams together to craft models to include C4 models, context container models. It helped data application, security, and solution teams gain resolution and agreement on holistic solutions much faster. Since moving from Visio to Lucidchart, we dramatically increased the speed to include up to a 25% time savings. And in terms of moving those applications and designs into production, we believe we reduced that latency up to 50%. And if there's one single thing I would say that qualitatively states the power of Lucidchart, it's the ability to collaborate in real time and to make decisions in real time. And ultimately, that's the thing that usually hung us up in the past. So over the past 2 years, I truly believe the ROI has been met within my organization, and that 25 to 50% time savings, both in modeling and deployment, has been instrumental.
Amazing. I love hearing how John and his teams were able to save so much time using the Lucid suite to drive alignment and decision-making in their projects. 25 to 50% time savings, that's incredible. Felicia will now take it away and show us a more detailed demonstration of how we've seen these cloud teams using Lucid's Visual Collaboration Suite in their existing workflows. For those of you who joined us for the Lately at Lucid keynote, we got a sneak peek of lots of new features we're releasing soon. In this session, everything Felicia will be highlighting is available in the product today. No need to wait for new exciting accelerators to be released. Felicia, over to you.
Thank you very much, Ron. In today's session, we are going to explore how Lucid support every phase of cloud transformation project. We are going to take a look at 3 phases: planning, designing and reviewing, and of course, executing and managing. Let's dive in. So first of all, let's take a look at the planning phase of a cloud transformation initiative. Imagine you are part of a cloud center of excellence, leading a transformation effort, helping teams migrate a complex application to a scalable cloud-native architecture. To do this successfully, the engineering team needs to visualize the cloud infrastructure. This will help teams understand current status, to identify dependency, and of course, to drive team alignment. So this is where Lucidscale come in. Lucidscale allows teams to create data-driven cloud diagrams by directly connecting to your cloud providers like AWS, Azure, or GCP. Once connected, Lucidscale automatically generate an up-to-date infrastructure diagrams for us. Teams can then customize and refine their cloud visualization. So now let's take a look at what it can look like in our Lucidscale model. Within Lucidscale model, we will be able to visualize different views. For example, it's our overall infrastructure. It can be our security group. It can be for different purpose like auditing or to call out different application that your resources is having. Now, if you would like to, you can also create the views that serves the purpose that you are currently working on for your project. Now, coming back to our infrastructure overview, we set up filter for us to hide and show different type of the resources that we need. In this example, we will be able to show or hide the resources that is public for this specific infrastructure. And of course, we will be able to come over to our conditional formatting tools to set up the rules for us to highlight some key information. It can be for our resources if it's encrypted or not. It can also be the size or storage that we would like to call out and highlight for us to understand where we should look into, where we should do some changes for our future cloud infrastructure. Now, with this model, with Lucidscale, teams can now have a clear and data-driven architecture diagram of their existing system. This is to ensure we will have the clarity for all the team members and stakeholders. All right, now let's move on to the next phase. Our next phase will be designing and reviewing the cloud transformation project. Once teams understand the current system, they can really focus on 3 key steps. We will be able to start to explore possible solutions. And then from there, to track project milestones. And of course, we would like to keep consistent and agile throughout the whole project. How Lucid can help us with this? First of all, we can come over to Lucidspark to facilitate our brainstorming session to identify our improvement opportunities for our current model. So we will be able to, of course, visualize our current state to make sure we have that reference. And from there, to facilitate different type of the brainstorming exercises so that we can generate enough ideas for us to identify which task we would like to move forward. Last but not least, we can utilize visual activity to help us prioritize the solutions. Now, let's take a look at what it can be like in Lucidspark. First of all, we are going to embed our current model for references so that teams can still come over here to understand and remind ourselves where we are at in our current system. Now, when we have that reference in place, we can start to set up a very structured brainstorming sessions for our team to brainstorm and generate ideas, and then from there to get understanding of where we can improve in our current system. Yep. With all the brainstorming ideas, we will be able to move ahead to discuss which one do we want to prioritize as our action. So now we will bring all the brainstorm ideas that we generated and then move it to a visual activity. Over here, we will be able to utilize visual activity to help us understand which deliverables we would like to prioritize. So now let's take a look at what it can be within our visual activity. So now my team and I has done this exercise to really share our ideas of which tasks we should prioritize. So take this as an example. We are pretty aligned on optimized network and performance. 3 of us think this should be the task we prioritize throughout the full project. Now, moving to the next task, enhance security and compliance. As you can notice, Shannon and I thought this should be something we prioritize throughout our project, while Ryan thinks this is maybe something lower in our prioritization. So this is the place we understand teams disagree upon this specific task, and then we should come together as the team to align and to have the discussion. Lucidspark provide us the tool like this for us to identify the disagreement, to identify the space we need to have discussion about. Now, coming back to my whiteboard over here, we do have many more options for everyone. For your team, if you need to initiate different type of discussion, you will be able to utilize our impact and effort metrics to do some analysis. You will be able to do some of the engagement to check the estimation for each of the tasks, whether it is your story point, maybe it is your effort analysis, or any type of the estimation your team is utilizing. Or simply, you can also just do a quick warm-up or icebreaker for your team to drive the engagement. Okay, now, once we complete our prioritization exercise, now we are ready to go to the next step, which is for us to visualize all the deliverables and keep track of the progress. Now, we get all the deliverables that we brainstorm, And then we've also done some of the exercise for us to decide which one we would like to move ahead as our deliverables and tasks. Now we can easily change the sticky note into Lucid Card. And then from here to add more details into the card. The next step, it will look like this. We will have all our deliverables visualized, all the tasks we would like to commit to with all the details and information that we need. Assignees, status, or maybe a range of date. Now, if you would like to import this to your current ticket management system like Jira, Azure DevOps, Asana, or Smartsheet, we do have great integration that you can utilize. Very easy and efficient. You will be able to import your Lucid Card into your current Jira instance, Azure DevOps, or Smartsheet, etc. Now, once you import it into your ticket management system, you will get your Jira card, Azure card, etc. And this is bi-directional sync, meaning if you make any changes of the assignee, for example, the information will be reflected to your ticket management system as well. Even better, if you want to visualize your current tickets, your current work items, we do have great integration that you can import your Jira issue, your Azure work items, etc. to Lucidspark. So now we've done quite a lot for our project management. We imported all the tickets, all the work items that we are going to work on for the next phase of our project. Now, something is still missing. We need a really nice system and visualization for us to track the progress, to help us understand the capacity, or potentially it is our roadmap. So now Lucidspark gives us great features and tools to work on that. First of all, we will be able to create a dynamic table or like a Kanban board like this by just few clicks. We will be able to create a table like this to understand the status of each of the tasks that we are currently working on. We will be able to understand everyone's workload as well. Even better, we can simply just move the task around. If I have a task that is an assigned, no one is owning it, I will be able to move it to one of the collaborator, and the information will be updated straight away within the card itself. And then also, this is my Jira card. It will be reflecting into my Jira instance as well. All right. So over here, we will be able to also click on my dynamic table, change different perspective I would like to visualize. Potentially it's priority, potentially it's issue type, etc. Now, Lucid also make it very easy to create a dashboard for us to understand the ownership chart, the progress bar, to understand everyone's workload, and then also where we are at as a project team. How many tasks is still in progress, how many tasks is blocked, and then also how many of them is completed. Okay, so very, very easy for us to visualizing everything we need and create that transparency within the team. Now, if you would like to, you can also visualize the dependencies between cards. So over here, we will be able to visualize individual cards for the dependency, or we can visualize as a whole group in the dynamic table to understand the relationship between each of the tasks. Last but not least, within Lucid, we can also create a roadmap for us to understand where we are at, and then also the progress of each of the project. Even better, we will be able to add milestones so that we always have the reminder of when we need to check in with each other, when we have the review session. Okay, so by now, we are able to utilize Lucidspark to help us to have a clear roadmap, a visual reference for execution, and really a structured plan before implementation. Now, we're going to head to our last phase for today, which will be running the cloud transformation project in Lucid. It is all about execution and managing the project. So first of all, Lucid can really help to ensure teams are aligned. When we are making any changes, we will be able to track the iteration, and then we will be able to understand and then make sure we are at the same page when it comes to reviewing and validating the work we are doing. So now I'm going to bring everyone to Lucidchart. Here is the place that we will be able to visualize our current model, all the changes that we are making, and then from there to verify the new model and continuously to work cross-functionally. First of all, I'm going to bring everyone back to my Lucidscale model. With the model Lucid created for us based on our cloud infrastructure, we can easily bring the model into our Lucidchart. So this will save a lot of time that we don't have to build from scratch. Our universal canvas make it really easy to transfer from one platform to another. So now simply, I will just click on Edit in Lucidchart. It will bring me to the Lucidchart document, and I will be able to build based off what we are currently having. Within our current infrastructure, I will be able to set up a conditional formatting rule. Again, this is to help us highlight any key information, any abnormal behavior, or any instance that we need to respond to. We can set up a toggle to turn on and off different highlighting that we need to visualize. In this example, we are highlighting any public S3 bucket so that we can respond to this infrastructure and think about what can be future changes for our current cloud environment. We will be able to put in the prompt into our generate diagram AI tool over here. It will help us to generate a foundation, a draft of our process. And then from there, we can make some adjustment. And it's just so easy for us to create a process that we want to help team to understand and also to have that alignment. Now, potentially you've already have your current process in place and you have the diagram. However, though, for the communication purpose, you would like to have an outline or a summarize. Simply, we will be able to use our AI tool to create that outline for you or to summarize for you so that it makes it very easy and efficient when you are creating the standardization. All right. So once this documentation is ready, we can also simply bring it to our Lucidspark if you need to initiate any of the brainstorming session to identify any of the improvement opportunity throughout your processes. I'm going to bring us back to the main board. The last thing over here, I know a lot of you might be thinking, throughout the project, I will have so many documentation. I will have so many different informations that I need to share with the team. However, though, it's always really time consuming for us to dig into different folders and also different spaces to find that actual information and document. Lucid also offers us a great digital space for us to centralize all our resources. We will be able to create a team hub to house all the Lucid documents. Within the team hub, we can create a team space, and this will be the area for us to ensure we communicate and collaborate seamlessly. So within team space and also team hub, it provides the team a single source of truth and then to drive the alignment within the team throughout the project. With Lucid Suite, teams can now successfully execute their cloud transformation project with fully visibility, seamless collaboration, and efficient tracking and execution. As we wrap up today's session, Lucid provides all the tools you need to understand your current cloud infrastructure, design and plan your transformation project, and of course, execute and track progress seamlessly. Now, I will hand it over to Ryan.
Awesome. Thanks, Felicia. We just walked through a real-world workflow covering the key phases of a successful transformation. First, evaluating our current state, then planning and designing future architecture, and finally, executing and tracking implementation to ensure alignment from start to finish. Throughout the session, we saw how Lucid helps cloud teams streamline documentation, align stakeholders, and accelerate execution, eliminating many of the common blockers that slow down cloud transformation projects. And we're not stopping here. In the keynote just before this breakout, we announced the upcoming Cloud Accelerator. The accelerator builds on workflows you're already doing in the Lucid suite, like the one Felicia just walked through, with even more features like blueprints. Kick off your cloud projects with a consistent method and save time from having to create the same documents for each individual project. Asset Builder. Build and update assets across various diagrams, keeping your documentation accurate and up to date. And finally, large batch importing. Increase the time savings of auto-diagramming your cloud infrastructure with batch importing and AWS org import. These new features are designed to help you standardize your team processes, improve the accuracy of your documentation, and increase the velocity of your teams. I want to thank you all for joining us today. We appreciate your time and your engagement. And that's it for us today. Thank you again. We look forward to seeing what you build in Lucid.